Hi, teammates from all around the world, wherever you're watching. Thank you for stopping in on this episode of Let's Talk, where, yeah, that's what we do. We talk. So, with no further ado, we're just going to get started right away. I want to get my guest in here. So, I will add her just a second. There. Let's see, where is she at? Oh, come on, Instagram. There we go. And are we there yet? No. Oh, there we go.
Yo.
There we go.
Hi,
India. India, what's good?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for coming on. You are one of the people that I have on that was nominated from another guest, right?
My Mo baby.
Yeah. So I appreciate you hopping on, even though you didn't know me or anything, and she probably just said, "Hey, go on the show." Um, and I really appreciate you taking time. Can you do me one quick favor? Can
Yes.
you introduce yourself really quick, and then we'll get started with the questions.
Yes. My name is India Flye. I am 25 years old, playing in France at the moment.
Good. That's all I need to know. Your name is super dope.
Thank you.
Whose idea was that for your name? Your mom?
My mom, but my
Okay. Okay. Oh, wait. Are you freezing up or am I freezing up? Can somebody tell me if she's here? If everybody sees, I see her frozen. Oh, wait. Okay. Wait. Go live? Yeah. Is it working? What's up? Hey, does everybody see this?
I don't
Oh,
know
wait.
what
Okay. Now we got it. Now we got it.
I don't know what just happened.
I don't know
That
either.
was I don't do Instagram live. I'm a TikTok. So I don't know what
Okay. We're gonna try to get this one through before Instagram starts messing up. So okay, so I'm ready. You ready? All
yes.
right. So let's talk a little bit about your college career. When I was doing my little bit of research on you, I noticed that you went to quite a few colleges, if I'm not correct. So
Yes.
you started out at New Mexico,
Yes.
then you transferred to Butler,
I went JUCO.
or you went
So
JUCO.
for a year, yes, my sophomore, and then from JUCO I went to Butler,
Okay. All right. And then you ended at
Rocky Mountain College in
got it.
Montana.
Got it. Okay. So I know that from a lot of overseas scouts and stuff like that, and me being a former coach as well, sometimes they see that as a disadvantage when somebody hops around in different schools. What was
Mhm.
the reason behind you transferring so much?
Some were not being the right fit.
Mm-hmm.
Some was being, lack of focus.
Yeah.
Butler was not being lack of focus for that being an academic school.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went NEI. But whenever I went NEI, I felt like I found myself truly as a basketball player and outside of basketball. I matured a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got acquainted with somebody that's an agent who was went to Montana University, and so from there she put me on the game of overseas basketball.
Good next point, because my next question would have been anyway, when did you start thinking about playing overseas? That's not a normal dream for a lot of women, like, hey, I'm going to finish college and I'm going to go overseas. When did you
Right.
start thinking about playing overseas?
Um, Probably when I went NEI.
Mm-hmm.
My dream was always to go to the W, of course,
Mm-hmm.
as everybody.
Yeah.
Whenever I went NEI, I was like, sometimes you gotta be realistic. And it was, okay, what's the next step that's not the W? Okay, overseas basketball. And I don't come from a family where you go overseas or you go professional in any sports like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like getting acquainted with my agent. She helped me get into the ball game of overseas basketball.
Um, what did you know about overseas basketball at that point when you started to really give it some serious thought to doing it? Did you know
I
anything?
I did not. Only on the men, only on the men's side did I know about overseas basketball because I have friends that play overseas on the men's side, but I never knew about the women's side. And all I had was Brittany Griner, Russia.
That's all you
all.
So when you said you met your agent, when did you meet your agent? At what point in your career?
My going into my senior year.
Okay.
Or my 5th year. So
okay.
Yeah, so I went NAIA my true senior year, so the 4th year, but I didn't play. I redshirted.
Okay.
And then the year I went, that's when I met her.
So when she started talking to you about playing overseas, did you have any apprehensions, or did you think, okay, this is a logical next step for me?
I thought it was a logical. I just knew I had to grind in that 1 year to go, because like NAIA is not, I guess, like respected always as a D1 or even like D3s. So with my agent, she was like, no, you're going to have to kill. Like you're going to have to put up the numbers, so then they can see like wherever you go overseas, especially like a respected league, a respected country, to go from there.
That's a good point, because a lot of NAIA schools, D2, D3, JUCOs to some extent, a lot of players that go to smaller schools like that, they feel like they're at a disadvantage. This is partly true. I think that of course a lot of scouts, a lot of GMs, a lot of coaches over here, they prize D1 talent. But you and I both know that there's hoopers in D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO that for one reason or another they maybe fell through the cracks, or academics or whatever. There's a lot of reasons why a player would go NAIA who maybe even has D1 talent. But the people over here don't realize that, you know? And I think the thing with smaller school players is they when they do get a chance, they come over here with a chip on their shoulder, like, yo, I'm about to prove. Right? Did you feel like that when you were thinking about coming overseas? Like, okay, I have to go there and really like prove myself.
In a sense, yes. I was going to say, but I mean, like Sweden was kind of different. I was like one of the oldest on my team when coming in. I was 23, I think. I think I was 23. But I'm glad I did start in Sweden because it gave me the boost I needed. It introduced me to the European style of basketball, pick and rolls, and everything like that, which I didn't do that in college. They would just tell me ball and go. Get the ball and go. So I'm glad I started out there, even though, you know, Sweden is, I'm good on Sweden, but I'm glad I started there.
Okay, so were you one of the only import players when you went to Sweden?
No, so I started off with 2 other Americans, but I ended up with the only one. I was the only one that ended up the full season for American play. Yes.
And after you went to Sweden, where did you go?
Australia.
Okay, good next moving point.
Yes.
So before we go to Australia, what was your welcome to European basketball moment? Everybody has one.
You know what? Oh my gosh. It was, okay, so you know how the backcourt is different. So what is it like? If you're on one side, you have to inbound the ball on that side. Like you can't go back and forth.
Right.
So yeah, my coach forgot to tell me and my other American staff. And so we ended up on the ball, and they're like, yeah, open back. They're like, yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. Only if you're like, if you have
if it's at mid court and you got 1 foot on each side.
Yeah, that is crazy. I think that is a crazy rule, but now it's just ingrained in me that that's how it's supposed to be.
What was your hardest adjustment that very first season playing overseas, both on the court and off the court? Your most difficult transition phase?
On the court was traveling. Traveling and fouls, I would say. Those are the 2 things, because I'm a quick step guard. Like, I want to go. And you got to put the ball down, and then you put your foot. I'm like, that was one. And then yeah, fouls. So they don't let, some leagues don't let you use your hands, some leagues let you use your hands, and that was a crazy. I would get like, I would foul out. I was fouling out in the beginning of Australia season. It was bad.
I tell people all the time that my very first preseason game, my very first game when I first came overseas, I had 7 travel calls on me.
7. Ooh, it
My
sounds about
coach was
right.
like, "Yo, are you stupid or what?" I was like, "Dog, they're trying to take away my first step." He was like, "You better learn. You better learn."
You better learn, because you cannot do that.
No,
You
no.
cannot do that.
And off the
Let me
court, what was your biggest adjustment in Sweden?
mm, not being able to go anywhere I wanted when I wanted
Why
to. I,
not?
because so I lived on a small island, and
Oh,
like we had a car, but I don't know how to drive stick. so
I'm going to
some
touch on that point in a second. Keep talking. I got
okay.
some
So
background info.
yeah.
Keep talking.
So like if I want to go to the store and maybe it's like, let's just say, I don't know, 1 a.m.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I
no.
gotta ask my teammate, and my teammate probably sleep because I'm the only night owl, and I can't drive stick, and I'm not about to ride my bike at 1 a.m. in the freezing cold.
So not being able to move when you want to move.
Yes,
So when
yes.
when your other 2 foreigners got fired, how was you getting around?
Mm. I was staying in my room. This was a was a it was an interesting season. I literally stayed in my room probably like 99.9% of the time. If the other percent was to get to go to basketball.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you moved to Australia,
hmm
and where were you in Australia?
what is it? Sunshine Coast?
Suncoast.
Sunshine Coast in the north?
Hmm.
Yes, in the north.
And so you now we'll take the transition into my background information. What can you tell me about, or does Slime Rider ring a bell?
Yes. She said the Sunshine. Okay, Sunshine Coast. But yes, Slime Rider. Yes.
What was the Slime Rider?
Slime Rider was mine and Mo's car. And it was this green, bright green car. And it was
A
old.
Mazda. A
A
Mazda.
Mazda, yes, it was a
I do
Mazda.
my homework.
And you did your homework.
And
And I don't know. I looked at it one day and I said, "Yeah, that's Slime
I heard that you didn't know how to drive the stick anyway, but that you also didn't know how to put the handbrake down. So you just thought this car was slow for the
Rider."
first week or so. So
Mm-hmm.
you were tearing that car up.
Mo was snitching. Ooh,
Oh
she was
yeah.
snitching.
Oh yeah. I got all the goods.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I drove one time. Oh, I drove for like almost 2 hours. Big thing's still up, and I'm like, why is there some noise coming from the car? And I go and I get home. I'm like, Mo, I drove almost 2 hours with the big thing still up. That's crazy. Mm-mm-mm.
Is the steering wheel on the other side in Australia? Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
How was that? How was that experience? Because I played in England and it was on the other side, and that freaked me out the first week or so.
Yeah, I had Mo drive for like the first couple weeks. Then I went and yeah, I was bad. Sometimes I was going over on the other. I would turn on the other side. I was like, yeah. But whenever we had practices or games, Mo drove.
Okay. And if you had to get somewhere important, that's when she drove.
Yeah, that's when she
Okay,
drove.
I got it. How would you compare? Okay, you've played since in Europe as well, but how would you compare the different style of basketball between Europe and Australia?
Mm, I say this very nicely. Um, Australia was more slow paced.
Okay.
It's slow-paced basketball.
More physical?
And not as
Mm-hmm.
physical and not as much
Mm-hmm.
labor. Like I felt like I was on vacation whenever I was in Australia. And Mo will tell you, I literally drove everywhere. I didn't want to walk. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to relax.
Mm-hmm.
And we only practiced like 2 to 3 times a week,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
maybe
y'all
if that.
was chilling.
We were chilling. We lived right by the beach, literally like 2 steps. I didn't take advantage of the beach. Mo took advantage. Um, but I took advantage of the food. They had some great food.
What what would after you left Australia, you went to
I went to Finland for a month.
for 1 month.
For
What
1 month.
happened? What happened in Finland?
I just got up out of there.
I
Reminded me.
thought you played for like one game.
I
That's what I
did.
saw.
I did
You played
one game.
one game and you was out.
Next month, yes.
Like
It-
I ain't taking this.
yeah. Then I went to Portugal.
Okay.
And
How was Portugal? I played in Portugal too once.
I love Portugal, actually. Portugal is a great country.
Mm-hmm.
I like their style of play. It's
Mm-hmm.
fast paced. They know the game of basketball. It's just they do things very different. And I told you I didn't have a visa while I was out there,
Yes.
so I was being
Yes.
illegal the whole season.
You was a legal alien out there.
Yeah, it's funny to joke about now, but it was not funny during the moment. It was not funny because I was like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Like sometimes I can't go out, or sometimes I don't want to do anything because you just never know.
Mm-hmm.
It easily could just happen in 2 seconds.
So for those of you that are watching, there are places where they do not pay for your visa. So you come there on on a travel visa like usual, and then they try to trick you out of not paying a visa fee. That's incredibly bad because when you leave that country, it's gonna have a timestamp on there, and you could technically be banned from coming back to Europe once you leave the country. I've heard a lot of people that have had that kind of experience. They've been banned for 2 years and had to pay a fine. So please, Hoopers out there, please make sure that your visa is taken care of because that will definitely affect your livelihood if it is not. So, public
Okay.
service announcement. Um, knowing knowing what you know now, if you were to talk to yourself, let's say when you were coming out of college, about your experiences up until now, what would you warn yourself, and what would you tell yourself to keep doing?
Mm, oh, that's a good question. Um, let me see. Huh. Honestly, more myself would be don't take anything for granted. Honestly,
Mm,
don't
mm,
take it for granted because sometimes like you're not as blessed to always just stay in one country or get
mm,
into the same contract or with the same team or things. So I'll just say don't take anything for granted. Always give your 110% all the time, even when the team is not being professional. You just
yeah,
always just stay.
yeah.
I had to mature in that aspect
Mm-hmm,
of right, because sometimes like if I get annoyed, I'm like, yeah, I'm looking crazy. My face is crazy. Like my whole demeanor changed,
mm-hmm,
and so I really had to. These last 3 years, I had to cut that out and just it doesn't matter. Just be professional.
mm-hmm.
And like,
And what would you tell yourself to keep doing?
um, um, hmm. Let me see. What did I say? What would be a good one? Um, I don't know. That's a hard one. I'm not
I,
gonna
I,
lie.
I kind of like it when my guests kind of like got to think, like, oh, I wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna let you out. You're gonna have to answer that. I'm
I
not
got
letting you out.
to keep going. I mean, I would just say, dang, I would be a. I'm trying to see how I want to word this, because I would say like even like this summer, I really didn't know if I wanted to keep going in basketball because I have another life that's outside of
Yeah,
basketball.
we're gonna get to that in a minute.
Yeah, okay. But I have people in my corner that literally was telling me like you have a talent and you need to keep going as far as that talent lets you go, as your body goes. So I'm gonna incorporate that with.
Okay, I got you. So what? I mean, you said you're 25 and you've already thought about stopping. The thing with a lot of women basketball players is that they don't play as long as men usually. There's outside pressures to start a family, get settled down, get a job that a lot of times men don't usually have. Um, what do you think about, like, I don't mean like what you're going to do after basketball, but what do you think keeps you motivated to keep playing?
Um, my family, my friends, building an income to where what I want to do after basketball, it can pay for that, or at
Mm-hmm.
least a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So big, yeah, those are the three biggest
Mm-hmm.
things.
And how does your family support you as far as, like you said, your family doesn't like go overseas, didn't go overseas, stuff like that. How are they able to support you through your life as a basketball nomad?
Um, my grandma, that's my anchor, that's my backbone. She do everything. I don't think I would be here or be the person I am today without that lady. She she watches every game,
Dope.
like every single game, and she's never missed a game, whether it be in person or watching. She'll give me a full scouting review of the team. Wants to know who we're playing against. She wants to know the point guard. She wants to know if it's an American. Doesn't
You
she does
on
every,
point.
she's on point. It's whatever time. If it's 3 a.m. that time, she's going to watch.
Wow.
But yeah, aside from her doing that, even my family, like if I'm going through anything, if I need just someone to talk to, anything, it doesn't matter what time it is, I can just call them and they'll be opening ears.
Hmm. So you're now in France. Um, what's it like? I played in France too. Almost everywhere you played, I played. Um, what's it like for you playing in France?
I love it here.
Mm-hmm.
I tell everybody this has been my best country. This has been the best country I've been in. Um, like of course you hear like stereotypes and everything when you come over. Like they don't just well to Americans and all things whatever. But my team has been phenomenal. I love them. They have welcomed me with open arms because I had came like they had already played like 3 preseason games before I had came. And so right when I had came after that week, it was like I had been here for like probably like 2 months. Um, Clearly some of them don't speak good English,
Mm-hmm.
but we've been working. They've been teaching me French. I've been teaching them English. But it's been amazing, honestly. I like the league. I like their style of play.
Mm-hmm.
I have a really good coach. He works with me not just during basketball hours. Like he'll come after, before, anytime like that, whenever I need.
Speaking of the coach, how big of an influence has it been on your career, the coaches that you've had in your different stations?
Oh, it's a big part because I was about to say, um, especially like overseas, they don't do the same as the states. Especially college, which I
Yeah,
wouldn't college and
yeah.
pros, but honestly, just I had in Sweden, I had a Spaniard coach, and the Spaniard coach and my French coach remind me exactly of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, they understand basketball. They'll sit there, watch film with you. They'll pick apart everything and like, you need to do this. I like how you did this, but let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Incorporate it into my game. So honestly, a coach having a coach that actually is really in tune with you and actually wanting to work with you overseas is a must need.
How do you deal with the pressure of being an import player?
Oh, they think we're superheroes. Like, I'll be understanding sometimes, like, okay, I know, but boy, they be thinking we some superheroes. We just supposed to boom and just go 24/7.
That one caught me off guard. I'm sorry.
Especially if, like, like you lose 2 to 3 games in a row. Everybody just start pointing the fingers and everything. I feel like we, as the American imports, maybe in general, you have a lot of obligations you had to do, satisfy.
How do you deal with it? How do you deal with that pressure? Like, it's different than back home. It's different than in college. You can't when you come over here, you are not a glue guy. You are not a glue girl. You're not the one that keeps the team together. Rah rah rah. No,
Right.
like you are. There are some expectations that you will have to fulfill, or you will be on that big bird flying back across the ocean. So,
Yes.
how do you deal with that for your own self?
Um. Honestly, I think Mo helped me a lot with this. Going Australia, especially. I'm glad I had Mo for my rookie season. I wish I
Bet,
had her.
bet.
Yes, yes. She because I was like sometimes like it'll be things going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking like I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like we just need to win some games. Like we just need to do this. But she just told me like, like as as Americans, we have these obligations and we need to, don't whatever that's going on the court, don't take it offside the court.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we have a lot of pressure already, when we get off the court, we need to, make sure we be in tune with ourselves. She liked to sing, she got hobbies. I think that was really dope to find somebody that not always just about
Focused
basketball.
about basketball, yeah.
Yeah, you have actual other things you should do outside of basketball instead of stressing yourself out 24/7.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a good point because, of course, we as overseas athletes, we have a lot of downtime
Yeah,
where could do you could follow different goals or go to school or do online course. You could do a lot of you could work technically because we have so much free time. Now I want to flip a little bit to what you're looking to do when you finish playing. What kind of plans do you have whenever you decide to stop playing?
so I want to be a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be an attorney to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to do both.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I gotta stop putting pressure on myself to understand like I'm doing enough right now. But yeah, my end goal when it's time to hang everything up, I want to be a defense attorney.
Mm-hmm. What drew you to the dream of being a defense attorney? That's a tough one.
Uh,
Do you
what's so
do
crazy?
you root for the underdogs?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I am 100%. Everybody knows I am 100% underdog. I love the underdog story. I love a good come up story. Um, any hold on, I gotta. My best guy friend, he's funny.
And
I'm gonna slide a little.
all up in the comments, I see.
I'm gonna slide a little comment, but probably whenever I was in second grade, honestly, I had this little you gotta write in this little book or whatever for school project, little school thing. I don't know. But I had said I wanted to be a lawyer. And like ever since then, I have always stuck with I want to be a lawyer. Like nobody I it doesn't matter with the shows or anything. I have no family that's a lawyer or anything. I just wanted to be a lawyer.
So one of those childhood kind of things that's followed you ever since.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then as attorney, I about to say, like I said, I love when people come to me and they say you can't do something. Okay, I'm gonna get you off. All right, watch how we go.
How were you able to deal with that aspiration while you're playing at the same time? How are you able to fit both goals in one hat?
Um, I guess I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to
To
do
find
this
the
season.
balance.
Yes, to find the
Mm-hmm.
balance. If you talk to me, I'd be like, my mind be over here one time, my mind be over there next time. But I've been looking into, I guess, like more recently since COVID. Um, Law schools have been doing online, like
Mm-hmm.
they done.
Right.
You can do 4 years and get your ABA accredited straight like that.
Right.
Um, Doing some I looked in France too, even in Sweden I did it, but some credits even transfer over, but that's what I'm just trying to figure out. I have my LSAT. I take my LSAT again January the 15th, to try to get into this school, my top school that I want, and they told me what the score I needed to get into that, so I've been trying to study my off time
Mm-hmm.
for that.
Okay, I've got a question or two questions or one question from Barry Lynch. The one question is, as an American player coming into a league, do you feel that there's extra pressure? Okay, we kind of talked about that. We'll skip that one. Let me ask this, the second one. This, I think, is a better one. How hard mentally, as a player, constantly looking for the next team, knowing your contract is nearly up and knowing you have to impress? So the typical, we're usually on 1 year deals, maybe 2 years, maybe a one and one. So what is that pressure like that you constantly have to reevaluate everything after a season and think about a job, think about where you're going and things like that? Is that a pressure for you?
Um, I feel like I went through it more, I think like this
Mm-hmm.
summer, because Sweden, Australia, Finland, I didn't get to, I always had a contract
Right.
lined up, boom, boom, boom. But for this summer, it was more so, it was like it was kind of going back and forth. I'm not gonna lie, because it was kind of me being
Mm-hmm.
like, I want to focus on getting into this law school.
Right.
So I haven't like felt the complete pressure of being like, okay, like when I'm gonna be waiting for this contract, when I'll be waiting.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't know how to really like kind of answer that, because I haven't had that pressure.
Mm-hmm. Good. I don't wish that pressure on you either. I mean, I never really have problems with that either, but I know dealing with the people that I deal with with the Hoopers that I deal with right now with my consulting, um, it's getting harder and harder to get jobs, and there's just so much competition. And yeah, I'm glad I'm old and I played like in the black and white film era, and yeah, then I didn't have to worry about shit like that. So um, we're almost done. I got a couple more questions for you. What are your all time favorite hoop shoes?
Mm. Ooh. My all time, um, some PGs. Honestly,
Mhm.
I like some Paul
Okay.
George.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not really big on what specific and things like that. But I love some good PGs.
Okay. I got you. I got you. Um, do you have? I'm going to ask this question, and you should know that I have also background information. So, do you have any weird hobbies?
Yes.
Okay. Let's hear what your weird hobby is.
Um, I like to collect pins. Yes, like pins that you write with. Yes, I take a pin from every country. Um, I try to so people don't see me, but there was
5 finger discounting.
yeah, I'd be trying to but yeah, I collect pins.
How did you
My
start collecting pins?
my grandma put me on
Really?
collect. Yes, we have a bucket, just like bucket at home of just random pins. Like, it ranged like some one time she got a pen that cost like $100. I haven't went that far yet. Pens, and I got like actually ink felt pens, and yeah, I love
Do you
pens.
ever look at your pen collection like, oh wow, I got that pen in Australia?
Yes,
Like
yes,
bringing back the memories.
yep. I haven't got one in France yet because, well, I have got pens, but I haven't got like a significant one that I'm like,
Right,
ooh,
right.
I'm
A special pen for your collection.
yes.
Okay, I got you. So I got that off of your school website actually.
Mm-hmm.
I got that. I was like, she collects pins. Okay, all right, good. Okay. Um, if you had one piece of advice for a female hooper that
Mm-hmm.
that is going to a smaller school, NAIA D1 or D2, D3, something like that, what advice would you give them to maybe help them in their pursuit of playing overseas?
Honestly, just never give up.
Mm.
Don't take things for. I know. That's why I'm going to slide this in here for my friend. The my best guy friend gave me some great advice, and because I've just seen all types of levels,
Mm.
but don't go overseas and thinking that you the same stuff that you got in the States is the same thing that you're gonna get overseas. Like we actually have luxury. We do have a lot of luxury stuff that we offered at any school
Yeah.
States. And that's not the case. so um so yeah, just don't take anything for granted. Sometimes you might have to your ice bath, you might not have no ice. You gotta figure out how you gonna take an ice
You
bath.
better go buy a bag of peas,
You,
frozen peas.
you might gotta go do something to figure it out. But yeah, no matter what division you came
Mm.
from, it really doesn't matter when you step
Yeah,
overseas. It
yeah,
really they do not care. They want to know, can you hoop?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like I play against people who was in the Power Five, then played against people who wasn't in the Power Five, then played against some people who had a tryouts in the W. Does not matter. We do the same thing,
right.
almost the same amount.
Yeah,
So come over here and prove that you can hoop. That's all that matters.
yeah. I agree. I agree. So, India, thank you so much for coming on. I have one last favor.
Okay.
Um, because you were a referral guest, so I always ask the guests at the end of the show if they would refer someone that can come on this show. And now that you've been on here, and this person can be male, female. Uh, they just have to be in the international basketball world. Agent, player, fan, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Is there anybody that you would like to nominate to come on? And with the knowledge that whoever you nominate, you have to try to help me get that person.
Okay. Yes. I got a couple in my head.
I need
Yes.
one. I can't be interviewing everybody in the world. I need one.
Okay. Am I supposed to message you after?
No, now. You on the
Right
spot.
now.
You on the
Okay.
spot. Megan
Uh,
had to do it too.
how,
Megan had to do
I
it too. That's how she nominated you too.
had to say. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna do Jazz.
You're gonna
He
do
plays.
Jazz. Who is Jazz?
He plays. I don't know. Is he still
Oh,
in here?
that's
Let me see if he's still.
your friend, your guy
Yeah.
that was blowing you up in the comments.
Yep. He right there. He gonna be like, oh my gosh. But yes. Yes. He
Okay,
plays.
Jazz, expect a DM from us so that you can come on. And yeah, hey, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate your time, and I wish you all the best in France. And we talked a little bit about that visa stuff too. So if
Yeah.
you never ever need anything, you ever need some support or something like that, just reach out to me, and I'll be there to help you out for sure. All right.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you for the knowledge, and yeah, have a good night.
Okay, bye.
Bye. So, everybody, once again, great guest on for this episode. I'm seriously really lucky with my guests. I haven't had any assholes or anything like that, or people I thought were really boring. Everybody has a good story to tell. So yeah, I'm super glad that she was on, especially because she went to an NAIA school and she's made it overseas, and that's not an easy feat. So for those of you that are out there to go to smaller schools, please understand that it's not over just because you play on a small school. There are definitely ways to come overseas and earn money, earn a lot of money, and live a great life. So she's testament to that, and I'm glad that she was able to parlay her college success over to Europe and Australia. So that's it for me for tonight. I've got a guest next week, but I will do the promo for that also next week. Anything else? No, actually everything's pretty cool. Just like I always say, if you were here for 1 minute or for the 40 minutes that we're on right now, thank you. I appreciate you. Maybe you'll come back another time. Until then, be safe. I hope all your families are good, and hold it out.